The smartest way to spark a bidding war for your home in 2025 isn't playing games or tricking buyers. It's using my 3-step framework I'm about to show you right here, which will consistently turn listings into offer frenzies. And in this video, I am giving you the exact system for free. And once you see this, you will never look at selling your home the same way again. Now, I want to do something weird and have a quick Spider-Man moment with you. Yeah, hang on. Before we dive in, I want you to know that these tactics work and almost too well. And like Spider-Man's Uncle Ben said,
remember, with great power comes great responsibility.
These frameworks I'm going to share with you are rooted in consumer psychology, and they're so primal that buyers absolutely cannot help but react to them, which is why it's easy to cross the line from smart selling into downright sleazy manipulation. Remember, these buyers, they are human beings. And of course, while getting you top dollars matters significantly to me, if you can't face the mirror after the deal, what have you really gained? So before we dive into this framework, I want to talk about the foundation that makes all of this work. It's called strategic underpricing. Strategic underpricing is the core ingredient to triggering a bidding war. If you're one of those people who think that they're going to just price high and pray for a rich fool, well, that's how you end up with a stale listing that will just sit there. The smartest move, proven over and over again, is to come in a few percentage points underneath the competition. That is the single best way to spark urgency and get multiple buyers fighting over the privilege to bid on your home. Now, when multiple qualified buyers fall in love with the same house on the same weekend, you, my friend, are in the money. Homes that sell in the first 5 days average 103% of their asking price. Yes, you heard me right. This is not math for Marines. 103%. They sold for more than what they were even asking for because they sold fast. Now, if you want to follow suit, run your comparables, price strategically beneath the market, and watch buyers smell a deal. They will seek you out. This feels backwards, but the data shows it works every time. And now that you've got buyers swarming your underpriced honeypot, let's talk about the framework. Number 1, strategic information release. This is where you control exactly what buyers know and when they know it. You acknowledge competition exists, but you never reveal specific offers or prices or terms. This forces each buyer to bid not against somebody else, but against their own imagination. And like it or not, our own imaginations trend toward worst-case scenarios in competitive situations. So rather than just adding another $1,000 to the next guy's offer, they're going to come in with a significantly stronger offer. Now, every great bidding war, it runs on a principle known by consumer psychology nerds like me as information asymmetry. What it means is buyers know that they're competing, but they don't know the other side's hand. Think of it like a silent auction. Everyone writes down their best number in a sealed envelope and hopes for the best. Now, I want you to contrast that with a transparent spreadsheet where buyer B just adds $1 to whatever buyer A offered. It's like they're playing the Price is Right. The moment you reveal exact numbers, you murder your leverage. So I hope it's clear here what I'm trying to get at. The moment you reveal exact numbers or terms or anything else that's been offered to you, you've basically just cast away 100% of any leverage that you had. So stay quiet and let buyers stretch toward their own ceilings instead of just nickel and diming against each other. And that's why the fastest way to absolutely ruin a bidding war is to overshare. The moment you start spilling exact details, the competition is over. What you want is that controlled mystery, just enough data to keep every buyer thinking, boy, I better bring my strongest offer. And in order to make that happen, I'm going to give you a script that will work every time. You ready? You're going to tell your bidders, hey, we've received multiple competitive offers. Several of them are above asking, and they all have very favorable terms. If you would like to submit your highest and your best offer, please do so in writing by Monday at 6 p.m. and we definitely encourage escalation clauses. That messaging, it's going to create urgency, it's going to preserve your leverage, and it's going to keep buyers climbing over each other without turning the process into too much of a circus. And speaking of escalation clauses, these are sort of your secret weapon for maximizing offers without any back and forth negotiation theater. And here's why buyer's agents pray that you never learn about the escalation clause. It's because it does the bidding automatically, like eBay's auto bid, but this time it's for your house instead of an old pair of shoes. It kind of makes the buyer's agent a little bit useless at this point, which is probably why they're checking Instagram while your escalation clause does all the heavy lifting. Here's how it works. Say you have a buyer and they offer $430,000. But if somebody bids higher in a competitive situation, their escalation clause will kick in to increase their offer by a given increment. Let's call it maybe $1,000, up to a cap of, let's say, $450,000. So if the highest competing offer is $435,000, their escalation clause automatically triggers their increase of an offer from $430,000 to $436,000, not all the way up to their max of $450,000. Do you see how that works? You don't have to touch or negotiate anything. You just announce the multiple offer situation and the escalation clauses do all the work on the back end. The beauty here is that the buyer gets the house for less than their max, but you still get more than the next best offer. And best of all, everything is documented cleanly. So if you ignore or choose not to use escalation clauses, totally good for you, but you could be walking away from a significant amount of money without knowing it. Now let's talk about framework number 2. This is the 5-day bidding sprint. This is the multi-day psychological hackathon that creates maximum urgency. So you're going to list on Thursday, you're going to show your home over the weekend, and then you're going to announce the multiple offers Sunday around 7 p.m. And then you set Monday at 6 p.m. for the deadline for the highest and best. Then you can accept on Tuesday morning. This compressed 5-day timeline leverages weekend emotions and it prevents buyer fatigue while always giving legitimate buyers enough time to make a solid decision.
Shut up and take my money.
This timing, it introduces urgency and it transforms tire kickers into eager buyers, blending FOMO with just the right amount of chaos, like Black Friday shopping, but everyone stays in their cars and nobody gets trampled for a toaster. Now, let's talk about how to generate 5 competing offers in 24 hours explained in 60 seconds. I'll do my best. List Thursday to catch weekend shoppers. Host showings Saturday and Sunday in short 2-hour windows. That's going to guarantee that buyers naturally overlap and see competition. Sunday at 7 p.m., you announce all the offers, due Monday at 6 p.m. Those couples who toured your home are probably exhausted after house shopping all day. They've probably seen 12 houses at this point, and they can't even remember which house had the weird smell. And when they get that notice, their emotions are still fresh. So Monday at 5:30 p.m., send a reminder indicating that you've received a strong response to your call for highest and best. And that's going to get and trigger the very last remaining holdouts to push their offers in. So by Tuesday morning, you'll be in a great position to accept your favorite offer. So this 5-day sprint is going to generate significantly more profit because stacking offers fast is going to drive bidding wars. But if you spread them out, it's just going to drain all your leverage and urgency. Now, Sunday night, this is it's your psychological sweet spot. It's sort of like, it's like proposing after a romantic dinner versus during halftime, which you should not do. Timing matters. Buyers who just spent their weekend falling in love with your house have already started mentally arranging the furniture and telling their friends about their new place. So by Sunday evening, that emotional investment is at its absolute peak. Walking away now would feel like they were losing something they already have committed to own. That's something we call commitment consistency bias. It's just a series of $10 words, meaning that once somebody tells their friends and family about a purchase, they're going to fight like hell to avoid ending up empty-handed. This bias, it works in your favor. And this is why Sunday night announcements pull stronger offers than Monday morning emails, because those Monday emails are hitting well after that weekend magic is worn off. When you announce multiple offers, once again, vagueness is our greatest ally. Don't be the guy drunk posting at 3 a.m. that he has 7 offers and some are almost crazy enough to meet his asking price. Buyers will use any shred of data in a competitive situation that they could get their hands on in order to sharpen their strategy, and rightly so. So if you're in the thick of it and you're being pressed for details by anybody, I don't even care if it's your mom, you just stick to your script. You say, we've received multiple competitive offers, and leave it at that. Shut up. Loose lips sink ships. And mystery here is your leverage. Is it 2 offers or is it 12? All they know is that you have offers, and several of them are above asking, and they all have strong terms. Just be quiet and let everybody's imagination run wild. The less concrete information you provide, the more each buyer has to compete against their own mental worst-case scenario. So the one at 425 might artificially imagine that others must be at 450, and the one at 440 assumes that somebody else brought an all-cash offer. So everybody is going to stretch, which brings us to framework number 3, and I like to call this the buyer motivation index. It's a quick scoring system that identifies which buyers have both the financial capability and the emotional willingness and commitment to increase their offers when faced with competition. It's going to evaluate buyers across 4 key factors: financing type, appraisal flexibility, inspection terms, and timeline alignment. So to predict who's going to stretch versus who's already at their maximum, you could think of this as a way to spot which buyers will fight for your house versus which ones are going to walk away at the first sight of competition. Now, I'm not revealing any state secrets here by telling you that not all buyers are created equal when it comes to stretching their offers. Cash buyers might seem like the heavyweight champions, but here's the thing. Many times they're just investors or downsizers with zero emotional attachment to your breakfast nook. These guys are tough. They have the patience of a Buddhist monk and 5 other houses on their radar. And they could live in any of them. They don't really care. They will wait you out like a cat watching a mouse hole. Meanwhile, you're sitting there stress eating crackers, wondering if you should have taken their lowball offer. FHA and VA buyers. Listen, God bless them. They want to compete. They really do. And I've purchased homes using both of those vehicles. But the problem is they're cuffed to that appraisal like a televangelist to his browser history. The government programs literally will not let them pay more than the appraised value, no matter how much they love your converted garage man cave. They're basically stuck in a position where they're having to play poker with their cards face up. So, your Goldilocks buyers. These are the ones that have the desire and the ability to actually fight for your house. And these are typically conventional financing buyers who are contributing a pretty healthy amount as a down payment. Better still, if they have an emotional connection to the property. These are the sort of buyers who will walk through a home and they'll say, hey, you would get this bedroom, and boy, I sure like this as a home office. These people tend to have more skin in the game and they have room to maneuver. But even better, their sizable down payment means they probably have the cash to ensure that their lender isn't acting like a helicopter parent. So when they picture a Thanksgiving dinner in your dining room, that's when the emotional bidding kicks in. Now, did you know every time you treat all offers equally, you're wasting energy on buyers who cannot budge? Here's a quick 1-minute test that's going to help you get to the bottom of all this. Ask yourself 4 questions. Can they close on your timeline, or are they locked into selling their current house first? Did they include an appraisal gap guarantee, or are they one low appraisal away from falling through? Are they pre-underwritten or just pre-qualified? There's a difference. You need a letter from a loan officer and not one that they just printed out while eating a sandwich. How many times have they seen the house? Is it just the once, or have they come by twice or more times? Or is this some drive-by offer from someone who toured 17 other homes today? The offers that can answer yes to 3 or more of those questions are your real players. Everyone else is just noise. So focus your negotiation energy on the buyers who can actually perform, not the ones sending Hail Mary offers, hoping you're desperate or dumb enough, maybe even both, to accept it. Here's the golden rule here. When you have a buyer who's emotionally invested in the idea of living in your home, they are going to take precedence over even a superior financial strength offer, but that's from a disinterested party who's not really in love with your home. And this is true every time. This is the biggest reason why most sellers fail to spot truly motivated buyers, and how you can avoid it by using some simple emotional signals. Buyers sometimes include what we call love letters accompanying their offers. Yes, they're ethically questionable, and I've heard that they're trying to ban them. I don't know. Last time I checked, we still have the First Amendment in this country.
I thought this was America. Huh? Isn't this America? I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
Still, other times you might see parents or extended family of the buyer joining them at multiple showings, which means they're already having Christmas dinner visions. Be on the lookout for agents who are calling with timeline questions instead of just texting the same old crap that they always text. If you have a buyer who's waiving financing contingencies prior to full underwriting, it means total confidence and commitment. So that emotionally invested buyer at $428,000 beats the house flipper who's offering $431,000 every single time, because that flipper is going to hammer you over every inspection issue. But the interested buyer, they find solutions to get the deal done and never accept exploding offers with 2-hour deadlines. These rushed ultimatums come from buyers who are either desperate or they're bluffing. And desperate buyers often can't even qualify for the offer that they just gave you. Real buyers with solid financing, they take time to run numbers with their lender, discuss decisions with their spouse, and then they make rational, logic-based decisions. When someone pressures you into an offer with "this expires at midnight," just respond simply, "Hey, we're reviewing all offers Monday at 6 p.m. So if you'd like to participate, please extend your deadline." And the buyers who walk were never real in the first place. But the ones who extend and approve their offer, oh, hey, those actually can close. So the rule of thumb here is that rushed deals almost always die in underwriting, but disciplined deals usually close according to the plan. And hey, I know all of this feels like a bunch of chess moves when you just want to sell your house and move on with your life. But remember this, whether you sell smart or you sell lazy, you're going to spend about the same amount of energy. You can either spend it hoping and worrying, or you can spend it executing a plan that actually works, because hope is not a strategy. These 3 frameworks, the strategic information release, the 5-day bidding sprint, and the buyer's motivation index, are going to transform sort of a fruitless hoping into a SpaceX level execution, okay? Strategic information release controls the narrative without dishonesty. The 5-day bidding sprint, it creates that urgency that we are looking for without any unfairness. And the buyer motivation index, it's just going to identify who's going to perform versus who's already maxed out. If you master all 3 of these frameworks, you will never leave money on the table again. The average for sale by owner loses thousands by blindly accepting their first decent offer. These frameworks capture full market value without guilt or games or guesswork. And if you're like most of us, your home is likely your largest asset. So don't let indifference or ignorance cost you tens of thousands of dollars in equity that you spent years building. It's not noble, it's just expensive. And your retirement, well, last time I checked, it's not going to fund itself, so let's get to work.